Welcome to Geek Speak Live.
Hello, Geek Speakers! It is, of course, Friday night, and what better night to be doing Geek Speak Live with my co-hostess with the mostest.
Wait, Cobson on the pots and pans!
Hello, big fella, how are you?
Hello, how are you?
I'm good, I'm your host, Todd Bailey. As I said, this is Ginge, or that's what we call him, Ginge. Real name, Wade Cobson,
Home
aka
of
Ginger
Kaboom
Ninja.
Comics!
Yes, that's where we're doing this shindig from. We're pissed off,
Oh,
aren't we? Tell the
we
people-
have not been drinking.
No, just Coke from
Yes.
a certain place.
Which we won't publicise any logos with arches or anything this week.
Fucking ass. Tell them why we're angry,
You
Ginge.
sons of bitches, you've ripped us off our meal, sent us on our merry way without
We've driven all the way back here, and they've shorted us a burger, and not just because we usually get 2 burgers each, like a big burger and a little burger, right? They didn't short us one of the little cheap burgers, like a fillet of fish or.
No, it was the real expensive chicken burger. The real
shorted us
expensive one.
So to McDonald's in the CBD of Toowoomba City, Q. Okay, not sponsors of this show, and never fucking will be if you keep that shit up.
No, had your chance.
So
I'm a little bit upset because I'm hungry. And
he's hangry.
Hey, hello to
Bridget.
everyone watching at home.
She says hello to all the gentlemen in the room.
It's me. I'm not gonna say the bloke standing behind the.
She's saying to Mike.
She is not.
Mike, she's talking to you. Yeah. Howdy ho, geekerinos. Hi Scott, how are you?
Scott says,
King
"Rookie
of
move, guys. It's on you. Always check before you leave."
But the way they pack it today, Scott, you can't get a good look in the
thing
bag
is,
without pulling every fucking thing out, chips and they put. They're clever about this shit because they put the chips on top and they know if you go to try and take the chips out, it's going to go everywhere.
They distracted us this week because the lids weren't properly on the cups.
We nearly went
right?
ass up all over the car.
And they gave me 2 cups, and
To
I'm
make it
trying
look
to fit
bigger.
it on, and I'm getting distracted by that, and I'm trying to put it down. And then she said, "Are you right?"
As
I'm
in, like, get going. You
yeah.
know?
I'm like, "Well, I'm trying to," and now you jip me a burger, you sons.
Curse you, McDonald's, you sons of bitches!
Serenity now.
Hello, Paul Clyden, who is watching at home. Hello, sir.
Hey.
What's unusual about that? They always get it wrong. How do they do it? It's all computerized today.
I don't know, man.
They're meant to hit all the buttons to go, yes, that's there, that's there, that's... They fucking still fuck it up.
They did. Scott said they gave us a full roundhouse treatment. Yes, they did.
Runaround treatment.
No, roundhouse.
You
Because
feel
it
like
felt like I've been kicked in the ass.
Anyway, time to get on to some geeky stuff.
Yeah.
do you
Hey, this week the coolest thing I saw was the Thundercats.
I thought you were going to say it was me.
Well, I mean that too. Did you? I
Is
said
this the deep fake Thundercats? I've had a few people tell me about it.
No. This is the complete computer graphic 3D version.
Oh.
The guy remade it himself. It's one bloke. His name was Mike Booth, and he said, "I thought I'd learn how to use 3D animation while I'm in isolation."
Yeah.
And he made frame by frame.
So he not only learnt it, he mastered it
Oh
by the sounds of
yeah,
it?
yeah. Frame by frame, he copied the Thundercats intro, and it's gone everywhere.
Yeah.
Using the free software Blender,
Yeah.
which everyone can get on and have a muck around
That's
with.
free, isn't it?
It's
Blender.
absolutely free, Blender.
Hard to use? Are you playing around with it?
I've only played around with a little bit. I use another program called Lightwave.
What's that like?
Lightwave's cool because Lightwave was the program that they used for doing like Sequest and those sort of shows in the 90s.
Yeah.
And I guess I said, well, fuck, if Hollywood uses it, I'll learn how to use it.
But it
yeah.
was the 90s, Ginge. When you use it, does it still look like the friggin' 90s?
No,
or
no,
what?
it looks real.
Does it?
Like, I mean, it looks as real as any 3D looks real.
Okay,
The
cool.
more time you spend on it, the better it'll be.
Could you 3D add Ben Affleck sitting here with us?
He's not.
Tell
I
you
thought
what,
he was.
I had I got the lovely wife to watch Jane Silent Bob reboot with
Yes.
me this week, right?
Yes.
I'd already seen it with you.
Yes.
We've already talked about my feelings on the show
You
before.
weren't too happy with it last time
I'm-
you watched it.
I'm still not.
Really?
So we sat, by the way, we got ourselves a new TV last weekend. A big fucking TV
Sons
now.
of bitch.
at
How
home,
big
right?
is it?
55 inch.
How big is it physically? Like, is it
Fucking,
this big?
it's big. We sit there now and go, fuck, can't believe our TV was so small.
Yeah.
You know, it's now in the bedroom, the
Ah.
TV. But anyway, so we're sitting there watching Jane Silent Bob reboot,
Yep.
okay? And the wife had not
And you're
seen
watching
it.
the Blu-ray version as well.
Yeah.
So it's sharp on the Sharp TV.
Do you know what?
Yeah.
We got to the end of it, and my lovely lass said to me, she goes, yeah, I'm glad I didn't pay to see this at a cinema.
Really?
Yeah, and
Oh.
after seeing it twice now, I've had more time to think about it, and I think what I felt there were pacing issues.
Okay.
There was, you probably need to do a rewatch. We need to do a rewatch together, and I'll point out the pacing issues. Where the camera lingers in a scene too long after a character has said something, and there's nothing after it, and you're just sitting there going, "I would have cut that quicker." There was. I did notice they've chopped out every joke referencing when they want to go to Hollywood, and someone says Hollywood, Florida. They go, no, Hollywood, California. They cut they used it up just before that bit, and then they kind of cut it. And I'm like, well, if you cut that joke out of everything, then that joke no longer makes sense. Yeah,
the build-up doesn't make sense.
It's some of the performances, even though they're by people who are fucking obviously actors, apart from his wife and his fucking annoying daughter. Some of the acting actually felt amateurish.
You know what?
Really awkward.
I was watching the Ben Affleck scene. I kind of felt like he wasn't quite giving it his all.
Whereas, and this is not just because I'm a Ben Affleck nut, I actually thought it was one of the best scenes in the whole thing.
I like the scene.
I think it had the most heart, and this is what I was going to talk to you about.
I don't think it was him. I just don't think it was sold well enough.
Go back to Kevin Smith's earlier films.
Yeah.
Right? And I'm talking Mallrats, obviously Chasing Amy, one of my all-time favourites. Even Dogma, they all had heart to them. They had a heart-wrenching story kind of part, in them, right? Then you got to Jay and Silent Bob Strike Back, and we'd lost a bit of heart. It was more just about the jokes. It's just slapstick.
Yeah, I understand. Yeah.
Clerks 2 had a little bit of heart, but
I really enjoyed Clerks 2.
There were good moments in it. Don't get me wrong. Probably not as heartfelt as earlier films. Okay. And then you hit Jay and Silent Bob reboot, and there's no heart to it.
Yeah.
It is just a fucking, to me, a cash grab and a pure fan service, which really didn't need to be done. It's oh man.
I got what I wanted out of it.
Do you know what my big issue with Kevin Smith nowadays is? Every fucking thing he does, whether it be a podcast, an appearance somewhere else, an interview, I nearly died of a heart attack, and then I've changed, I've become vegan, I've lost all this weight. Every fucking time, he even does it in that fucking movie, and I'm like, dude, we get it, we know you nearly died. Well done for losing all the weight. But now it's become this thing that he constantly...
That's his shtick.
It's his shtick, and I'm over it. I'm like, Jesus, Kevin.
I look at him now and I'm like, dude, it almost looks like he's gone too far. And he looks sickly. He's gaunt in the face.
Very gaunt, yeah.
I mean, hey, I wish I was that thin, but I mean... It's not going to happen, is it?
You're going to give up the meat and everything else and just go veggie?
Hey, you're actually meaning like beef and chicken and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was. I don't know where you were going.
I thought you were pulling the piss out of me for a second.
Yeah. Do you know what? Do you know another thing that because we watched that anyway. It was getting late, so we decided to have a shower. We got to bed. We've just gotten into bed, and I think my wife must think I'm crazy some nights because it's just started. And next one I've gone, you know what? And the movie was playing on my mind. And she's like, what, hun? And I said, I've been thinking about it. And what it is, right? My love affair of Kevin Smith, especially back in the day.
Yep.
So we're talking the 90s and the early 2000s.
Yep.
Kevin Smith, at a time when geek culture, especially comic book, fans and all that, didn't get represented anywhere else. And it was always this in thing of like, he's one of us.
Yeah.
And he'd put references into his movies or his interviews and stuff like that, even his talking tours, all that kind of thing. Yep. And it wasn't mainstream back then. So you kind of like, yeah, he's one of us. And you felt this thing. And what I think it is nowadays, ever since probably fucking, I'd say Clerks 2 onwards.
Yep.
It's mainstream now. So when he's doing these things that he's always done, you go, every other fucking man and his dog's done it. Comics are so mainstream now. It's not that in thing anymore. And I think that's another little part of why I've fallen out of love with Kevin Smith. It's not what it used to be. What used to draw me to the Kevin Smith stuff. I don't know. That was just... As I said, I'm laying there. I'm pretty sure the wife's just like, he's lost the plot. That he's sitting there thinking about Kevin Smith so much. Then I had dreams of Fat Man, fly, fat ass, fly. No, I didn't. No. Wow. I dreamt of Shannon, what's her name?
Elizabeth.
Oh my God. That's one thing I'll say. Even in Jane Silent Bob reboot, she is still smoking hot. Boo boo kitty fuck.
I'm really trying to figure out how to do a segue out of that, but it's
I put you on the spot that you're like, I've got no answer for where he's going with that.
Talking Ben Affleck.
Yep.
The big news this week. Holy shit. Yes.
Yes,
Wow.
we posted. I beat you to it this morning. I've woken up and I'm like, you know who actually, for some reason,
It's almost like you just had a stroke there for a second. You're looking at me like,
that's how I look of a morning. Funnily enough,
Jesus, your wife. Whoa.
I'm lucky, man, that she's remained married to me. But anyway, the first thing I do is I grab the phone, usually to hit stop on the fucking alarm that's buzzing at me. And then lately, I noticed probably the last couple of weeks, I go straight to Twitter now.
Twitter.
Oh,
I can't stand Twitter.
I know, and I think it's a hive of scum and villainy.
Yeah.
But seriously, it's the first thing I go to lately, and I noticed one of the first things I saw this morning was Rob Liefeld had posted the thing about Ben Affleck returning as Batman.
Yes.
To which I immediately went, I'm going to put that on GeekSpace. First thing I checked.
Hang on. Did you read that and go, oh!
I did.
At 6:30 this morning?
And the wife's like, what the fuck is wrong
I
with you?
didn't even touch you.
Yeah, exactly. And I've got Ben Affleck's coming back as Batman. She's like, oh, go have a cold shower.
But no, I'm going to bask in this warmth.
I've gone to post it and I thought, I bet you, because someone is always up at Sparrow's fart and is posting stuff. I'm like, I better check. Ginger's probably done it. And today,
No.
I beat you to it.
You did.
I did.
It was Ben Affleck news. Ben Affleck is back as Batman in the Flash movie.
Now, the word on the street is, and apparently it's pretty good intel, he got the script a week ago. He read the script and he said, I will do it on the proviso that I get to make script changes. And here are the script changes I want made. And they just went straight away, yep, no, not a problem. Those changes are done.
Cool.
And he signed on yesterday or whatever it is.
And word has it that another Batman is coming back as well.
Michael Keaton will be back. So they're both reprising their role of Batman.
Yep.
You told me that it's not cameos. It's
No.
actually substantial screen time.
That's the word they're using. Substantial parts.
Right? Yep. So,
So
not just little
it's gonna-
cameos.
Yeah.
Yeah, even if it was. But if it was a fucking... I'd be like, oh!
I'll be sitting in there. Oh! And Todd's like, I didn't even touch you.
I swear! My hands are up here.
I've got the popcorn here. Ezra Miller is supposed to be coming back. Not too many people have...
No, he's not liked. He's really not liked.
That video came out a little while ago.
Even choking someone?
Yeah, but it was supposed to be a joke video. She was playing along with it, and then people went, "She doesn't look like she's playing along with it." But apparently, he's coming back, and 2022 is going to be the release date.
Oh, so we're going to while off yet.
Yeah.
Anyway, in the meantime, and this is, I see Fizz has just commented and said, what's happened to Robert Pattinson? That movie is still going ahead.
Yep.
That movie
Standalone.
They've just put out a teaser image of the logo.
Yes, Warner Brothers has trademarked the logo.
This gentleman has a problem with the logo.
It's fucked.
Preach it, brother. Preach it.
Dude, I sat there, and with a graphic designer's eyes, I looked at it.
Yep.
It looks like it's been done in Microsoft Paint.
Really?
It looks like...
I have not actually sat... I've glanced at it, because
Yeah.
it's been a fucking crazy week for me. I've glanced at it and gone, and then moved on. But you've studied it.
I've looked at it, and the reason you probably, subconsciously looked at it and went, that doesn't look quite right, is because it's not symmetrical. It's not a mirror image of itself.
Oh.
One side is sort of twerked a bit up, and the other side is not quite right. The ears are different shapes.
Really?
So
does it look very homemade?
It does. It looks like someone just click, 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 click. Even word art looks like someone did.
Could I do better? You've seen my word art stuff, and I've done things before as promos for the shop, and I've gone, hey, look at this, and you just come straight. You've taken one look at it, and gone, you did that in word art, didn't you? And I've always been, it's fucking talking about deflating when he's gone, dude, just hit me up next time and take me 5 minutes to do it, and I'm like, I spent a fucking day in word art.
At least your stuff is symmetrical. Why? This logo looks fucking terrible. Look, can we go back to Batman 89?
Yeah.
That logo was everywhere.
Iconic. It was on everything. Cereal boxes, t-shirts, fucking key rings,
People
everything.
were getting tattoos of it. They were getting it carved into
their heads.
Haircuts.
Not into their head, into their hair, I meant to say.
The big banners
right.
that you would see.
People got fucking tattoos of it. Would
just-
you go and get the new logo tattoo?
Fuck no. And you know what? I know someone who won't get it shaved into their chest hair.
Oh, you're talking about me again. Funny story, true story. I once had the bat symbol shaved into my chest hair at a certain establishment in Toowoomba, which shall remain nameless.
And the hairdresser went and printed out the template.
A stencil.
It was the Batman 89 logo.
Right, on this chest right here, and it looked fucking amazing for about a week.
And then all
After
of a
a
sudden,
week, it went from bat symbol,
It morphed into like...
sad dragon. It was like a dragon, like it's horrible.
Oh, man.
As soon as it started growing back, and it went all weird. I'm touching my boobs an awful lot tonight.
There are photos online.
There are.
Maybe you
Do you know,
can find them.
for a while, that particular establishment, it was their most liked photo for like a year and a half.
On their social media.
Was this right here, with not carved into it, but shaved into it. That symbol.
It looks shit. I'm sorry. I'm going to have to go to Bunnings and get a stepladder so I can step down off my soapbox. But fuck. I'm sorry. Honestly,
You're not happy with it,
it doesn't look like a graphic designer come up with this shape.
I was going to say, we're going to talk about the bloodbath that happened at DC, right?
Yeah.
Where Bob Harry has a whole chunk of the company, the higher ups, are gone, right?
Yes.
I think they've obviously sacked some of their fucking designers as well, because
I think
that's what we've gotten.
I think I was going to say the landscaper, but I'm pretty sure if you're a landscaper cutting a hedge, you would do it symmetrical. So I'm thinking it's the bloke that sweeps the floors that was told, here's a pencil.
Jose,
have a go at it,
the
mate.
janitor's been given a
Have
pencil.
a go.
Which actually brings me to this point,
Fizz
right?
says I should calm down. Yes, I'm going to calm down.
He's going to blow a fucking gasket in a minute. Not after do the show solo.
DC is going to...
Speaking of DC, right? Now, as we discussed it last week, they're nicknaming it the DC Red Wedding out of Game of Thrones.
Yes.
So many people slaughtered. Today, right, once again, fuck it.
It's Twitter.
Twitter. Go to Twitter and follow Rob Liefeld. One of the best things you will ever do in your life.
I love the fact that he doesn't pull any punches. He
doesn't.
This is how it is. A year ago, he said, mark my words, DC is going downhill.
Yep, and he said that they're driving off the cliff with their management decisions, but it's all come true. Rob Liefeld is a bloke who calls it as he sees it. He actually tweeted this morning, he said, I've been told by a number of people that some of DC's top flight artists, like the most, top of the top guys, the best artists at DC that are on contract, have just been told this week that they need to look at dropping their page rate if they want to continue to get work at DC, right? Which apparently has sent shockwaves through the people aren't publicly commenting on it apart from Liefeld, and there's been a few other people going, my mate is an artist, one of those artists, and yes, I've heard the same thing. Very offended that they've been asked to cut their page rate, because these guys, some of these top flight guys, mate, they sell books. Their artwork is phenomenal, right? Yes. They're not the kind of guys you go, hey, we're currently paying you $600 per page. It's a lot more than that, trust me. It's probably more like $1,000 or more a page. We want you to drop it to say, $300 a page.
You fucking what now?
No, that's just me. That's what I'm saying. They are being asked.
But that's what I mean. If you ask me, I would be, hang on.
They're being asked to take significant page rate drops, right? So
the comics are still the same price.
Yeah, exactly. This is just DC trying to grab more money back by paying the talent less, okay? So what really sucks is this is going to lead, if those guys aren't on exclusive contracts, or even if they are, if they're close to ending those exclusive contracts, you watch the mass exodus of top flight talent from DC Comics. They will leave in droves.
Yep.
And Marvel kind of did this a few years back, which is why if you pick up most Marvel comics, you won't know who the artist is. They're not a household name.
Yep.
The artwork on a lot of them is quite good. It's not what you call breathtaking.
It's
right?
not Alex Ross.
No. Oh, he does covers for them. But you know what I mean? Like interior pages,
That's right.
you sit there and go,
it
it tells a story. It's all right art on some books. They're not a bad artist, but then you look into the artists and go, where are they from? They're from Indonesia, Brazil, the Philippines. Marvel pay these guys next to nothing. They can pay them half of what they pay an American-based artist.
Yep.
So DC was always known of retaining their good guys, paying them good page rates. That's all going to change. So you watch these guys go off and do their own stuff at the likes of Image, Boom Studios, Dynamite, possibly even Dark Horse. Ablaze is another one, Aftershock Comics. There are now a bunch of smaller publishers who are saying to these guys, you bring your work across, you do your own creator own thing, we'll publish it for you and just take a little hit of the the back end or whatever. That's what's going to happen. So be prepared, DC fanboys and fangirls. Some of your favourite artists may jump ship coming up. There you go.
I'm trying to settle down a little bit. You're talking about doing independent comic stuff.
Yeah.
A group of guys have banded together to make their own fan-made comic.
Really?
It's called Batman Enigma.
Which they will not be able to bring out because AT&T will sue their ass.
What they're doing is they're making it freely available to download as a digital comic.
That way they're not making any money
Exactly
off it. So,
right.
Yeah, okay, that's still questionable,
It is. They could still get shut down. What they're doing is they're continuing on the Burton trilogy and making a Batman 3 with character designs of the Riddler based on Robin Williams.
Yep.
Billy D. Williams as
As
Two-Face, Catwoman, Michelle Pfeiffer, and more importantly, Michael Keaton as Batman.
Ooh. Now when is this meant to be coming?
They've started on it. You can see the designs for the characters online at the moment.
We'll have to pop a link in
Yeah, I'll chuck it down in the comments of this video.
Yep.
It looks really cool. And the guys just completed what they are calling Batman 66 meets Godzilla.
Ooh.
And they had the 66 Batman and Robin fighting against Godzilla.
That was a bit of a mismatch for a fight there.
It is, but the artwork looks crazy and really cool. Batman 66 era. Yeah, it looks cool.
Okay.
And I love the fact that they're continuing on after Batman Returns.
Because we're Tim Burton fanboys when it comes to Batman.
And Robin Williams looks really cool in the bowler hat and the green
Oh, he would have been
suit.
so cool.
Oh.
He would have been so cool. Speaking of Robin Williams, I finally got around to watching Night at the Museum 3.
Yes?
Yep. And look, good movie. Rebel Wilson's in it. Friggin' Hugh Jackman makes a cameo.
Oh, shit.
And it's a funny
Oh, he
funny
plays
cameo.
himself in it?
He does, yeah, on stage.
A version of himself.
Well, yeah. But I'll tell you what, before we watched it, the beautiful wife said, keep an eye on Robin Williams in this movie, right? And we'd only just seen 2 the week before. So I watched it, and I'm thinking the whole way through, after she mentioned that, I'm like, yeah, he seems a bit off. And then we got to the end, and she was telling me about the trivia of the film, that this was his last on-screen appearance, right? And they had issues during filming with him, and he was forgetting lines and stuff like that. And you can tell with that third film, if you compare and contrast to the first 2 films, such a different man in front of the camera. It was a little bit heartbreaking because I love Robin Williams, and he's phenomenal talent. And it was sad to see him kind of.
Have you seen the trailer for the new Robin Williams documentary?
No.
In the trailer, the director of Night at the Museum 3, there's a little scene to camera where he's talking, saying, I think time has progressed enough for me to talk about this.
Yeah.
But during the filming of it, Robin came to him and said, I don't feel like myself.
Oh.
And you're like, can you imagine having undiagnosed, symptoms that you just... Is it just me? I don't know what's going on with me. I can't remember.
Yeah.
I don't feel like myself. What's going on?
I've told you before, I might have mentioned on the show, I got to see Robin Williams a few years back in Brisbane when he came and did his comedy show in Brisbane. And a good mate of mine who's probably watching tonight, Jono and I went down to see Robin Williams, and I was so stoked. I was like, this is a comedy legend, an acting legend. And it was a fantastic show. It really was. But twice during that show, he stopped doing in the middle of the gig and had to go to the side of the stage where he had someone there following
with the
along.
script with his stand-up.
And he'd go, where am I up to? What am I doing? Yeah, and you could start seeing that was the beginning of it there. And it threw us for a loop because we're like, fucking, this guy is known for just...
being on the mark all the time,
But so much stuff off the cuff.
Yep.
If he did kind of forget it, he'd come back, he'd pull something else out. But he was... Twice during that show, he had to stop, go to the side of the stage where someone was standing there and going, you're up to blah, 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 blah.
And
then
you said
he
tried to laugh it off.
He tried to laugh it off, but it just... Yeah, and I'm sure if Jono's there, he'll comment and say about the same show. We still loved it. It was an amazing show, but it was that was the beginning, I believe, of when he was starting to change.
And like us being performers, we can understand... not being at your peak performance and then not understanding, well, what's going on? Why can't I'm not as good as I used to be. What's going on? And when the doctors weren't able to diagnose what was going on, like, Yeah.
Yeah, it's very
The
tough.
brain's a strange
Tough.
thing.
I know. Look at us.
Wow. They haven't got
Sorry, we're just strange.
They haven't got a name for what's wrong with us.
There you go. John has gone, yeah, we were very excited, but he turned out to be the worst comedian I've seen live. Oh, Jono, that's...
Worst?
That's harsher than I would have said. For me, Dave Chappelle was one of the worst I've ever seen.
Yeah.
I saw Dave Chappelle in Brisbane as well, and seriously, one of the worst. I was so G'd up for his show.
Yep.
And we got there, we watched it, and he ended up kind of, I don't know, maybe a third of the way into the show. He's just like, oh, how many Americans are in the audience? And there's like a handful of, yeah, and he goes, oh, okay. And then he started doing his whole show to the Americans. And we're sitting there as Australians going, we don't understand.
And you were saying it was more American politics.
It was about, it was about
I don't
politics.
understand what's going on.
Well, I keep abreast of American politics, so I had a bit of an in. But even then, I'm still thinking, you're in Australia doing a comedy show to an Australian audience. You've asked where the Americans are in the crowd, and you're essentially delivering your show just to them. And I thought, what a complete waste of fucking money this was for a ticket.
Yeah.
Walked out at the end of it, and I just went, I would never see him again. That was shit.
Yeah.
So that's my worst one. I'm surprised Jono has actually said. He said it's because of those Q necessities. Yeah, well, you know what? I'm glad I saw Billy Connolly a few years ago on the Gold Coast.
That was amazing.
That was a great show,
Yeah.
and now because of the way Billy is, yeah, we'll never see him live do a show like that again. So, any other comedians we better see now before? I still want to see Jim Gaffigan. I missed him about a year or so ago.
Oh, did you?
Yeah, he come over to Australia. I didn't get to see him.
Well, no one's touring at the moment, so...
No one can tour at the moment.
Yes.
So there's a market for us. We'll start going and doing really shitty stand-up in Brisbane.
We still won't be the worst that you've seen.
Probably not. I said Dave Chappelle. It's hard to fucking top that shit show.
Really?
Yeah. I said it was bad, man. It was bad.
Hey,
Hey,
I've been reading some really disconcerting things about Comedy Central, the Comedy Central channel in America.
yeah.
Like, Comedy Central was known for the best comedy shows.
No, back in the day, yeah. It really was.
Yeah, they have just axed the majority of their live action television shows. Things like Drunk History, Tosh.0. They're moving towards unscripted programming and cartoons.
Oh, really?
Like, so just reality TV and cartoons.
That's because we said this before about Australian TV, why there's so much crappy reality TV shows on Australian TV.
It's cheap.
Cheapest chips to make.
Yeah.
And so that's why more and more stations and that are going, we can have a budget of how many, like it could be 2 million per episode for a drama or a good action show, cop show, whatever else. Or for $200,000 per episode, we can make a cheesy reality show that idiots will tune in and watch. And there are a ton of my good friends who I know watch reality TV. And I can honestly, hand on heart, say I don't watch any of it. Not even... Back in the day when they first started, things like maybe MasterChef.
Yep.
I used to watch maybe the first one,
But
two...
it's no longer about cooking anymore. It's a relationship-based television
it's
program.
drama. They've got to do so much drama. It's like, just show me them fucking cooking. I don't want to see the drama of, will he make it or will he drop it on the floor? Dun, dun, dun.
Yep. Someone called someone a bitch.
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
whoa! Hey! Really? That happens every day. Or is it just me?
You've been in the kitchen with me at home. I call you a bitch all the time. Like, hand me that fucking knife, bitch.
Oh, god damn it. You son of a bitch.
You gingerhead bitch.
And like we were talking about that studios are going to move towards animation at the moment because of COVID and
yes.
within isolation, animation is the way to go. We can get one person in the voice box,
Well, you don't even have to be in the voice box. There's a number of people. I've seen homemade rigs. Some studios have sent stuff to...
Yes, it's just a
They're
thing
literally
that you
like,
poke your
have
head
you
in.
got a closet in a room? Here's the stuff. Put it in the closet. Sit in the closet. You've put this stuff up. Here's the fucking mixer or whatever. Plug this in. It's all fucking... Do this, 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 and this. Plug, plug, plug. Right, there you go. Now say the lines.
Yeah.
They record it on. It goes onto a USB or whatever, and they just upload the file or send it off the USB off. There are well-known fucking artists, like actors and that, who are recording in closets at home because the studios are going, the sound quality is just we can touch it up in post.
Did you see that interview that the guy that plays the Hulk was recording his own audio in isolation for a movie at the moment? So,
Really? Mark Ruffalo.
Mark Ruffalo. It was doing a drama.
How did you forget who played the Hulk?
I'm sorry, I could see his face. a lot of stuff seeps out when new stuff comes in. But what I couldn't understand is Tosh.0
Yep.
is just a guy on a green screen making fun of shit. Like, that's cheap television.
That is fucking cheap television.
His
His budget's probably less than what we've got here.
11
And we're on a very small budget.
11 seasons he's done, and in January they signed a new contract for 4 new seasons. That's just out the window.
Well, they'd have to pay him out though, wouldn't they?
Well,
Unless there's an out in the contract. What else you got?
I've been watching a television show called The Osbournes Want to Believe. Now, if you want to talk about...
This sounds like a reality show.
It is a reality show.
He's one of the ones I said is a sucker who watches reality
I
crap.
watched it because I wanted to know how cheap television is going in isolation is, right?
Yeah.
Jack Osbourne and his dad and his mum are sitting on a couch, and Jack is showing his parents videos to see if they believe or don't believe what's happening in the videos.
Yeah.
He's showing them UFOs, ghosts, haunted dolls.
Ozzy fucking Osbourne would believe anything that's put in front of him.
Ozzy's there going, I don't know. And then Sharon will say something, and he, what the fuck are you saying?
Yeah.
And he's getting up his wife, but...
How they're still married is beyond me.
I honestly think we could take off this program, right?
Yeah.
And it'd just be me showing you videos going, check this shit out. And that should be the name of the show.
Check this shit out.
Todd and Wade, check this
Copywritten.
shit out.
We'll copyright that shit right now.
Or you fucking what now?
You fucking what now?
Yeah,
That'll be the follow-up
That'll be
companion
it.
show to it.
I'm like, Todd, have a look at this. This is a video so-called of Bigfoot. I'm looking over here. Why am I looking? I'm imagining the couch is here and you're sitting next to me on the
thank
couch.
you. You're imagining me on the couch.
As opposed
Am I reclining, Ginge?
I should be here with the remote control looking at TV. Right, Todd, this is supposed to be Bigfoot in the Himalayas. Let's watch this. It cuts to the video. And you come back and you're like, that could be Bigfoot. Or it could be some overgrown antelope.
It's just Ginge with his shirt off in the woods again.
Hey, stop telling people that and stop showing that video. I filmed it once for prosperity. All right?
I tell you what, though, once again, I don't like reality TV.
Yep.
I'll watch documentaries about real things,
Yep.
which we watched last night. The first episode, it's on Netflix, I think.
Yep.
High Score. It's
It
about the
looks
history
like
of
a
video
cool
games.
show.
It is fucking really good. The first episode goes back to, say, the late 70s. And at the very beginning of the 80s. And
Okay.
it's like the creation of Pac-Man, Space Invaders. It shows the arcade, like footage of the arcade
wow.
things in Japan. Mate, these things were fucking massive. So many Japanese people flocked to these. And they were known just for men. There were no games for women. And what come along was Pac-Man was kind of designed to get girls into games. And it worked. There's interviews with girls in the 80s. And they're just like, oh, I love him, he's so cute, that little and they're just like, seriously, they were fangirling about Pac-Man. And the merch, the cartoon then came out, like Pac-Man's become a phenomenon. And it also delves into, there was a bunch of college students, MIT students, right? And they decided to put like pennies and stand-up arcade things in one or two of the dorms. And then they realised, fuck, we're making that much money, we'll go get another machine, put it in a different dorm. Made that much money, went and put it in a different dorm. So with on campus, they had in some dorms, say 3 or 4 fucking machines. They had like fucking 30, 40 machines right across all the dormitories. They were doing daily money runs. And they were starting to go, right, this fucking is really making us money.
Cool.
But we're noticing the drop off on the machines. After about a couple of weeks, a brand new machine, say it was pulling in $600 a day, right, in money. Within a week, it's dropped to 4. The week after that, it's dropped to 2, and it's because the people were getting better and quicker at the games, and the games were becoming very predictable.
Yep.
So these guys, being MIT fucking students like they were, one guy was literally a semester away from graduating MIT, and they just went, drop it, let's work out how we can make these games better. And they started doing mods, like fucking, so they'd pull the game apart, worked out how it worked, and went, right, we can create new screens. So we can take the basic thing, but we'll add new screens in, we'll change some of the sounds, and we'll just make it a little bit harder. So it's not as repetitive. So they did this to friggin' Space Invaders. No, it was one of the games anyway, right? And so they did that, and then they were working on a Pac-Man one. So what they would do, they'd do it up, and then they went to other arcades and started saying, hey, for $299 US, we can give you, we'll sell you this fucking upgrade that we'll pop in the machine for you and just plug it in. and your revenue will go up on the machines because the games will be harder for people. They'll put more coins through.
Oh, shit.
So arcades were loving it, and these guys started they did like $250,000 in
Holy
a couple
shit.
of months. So they're going, fuck MIT, we're making money doing this, right? So these guys didn't graduate, but they founded this business and they started doing that. And then Pac-Man comes along, so they start working on Pac-Man. By the time they're working on Pac-Man, the mod for it, Atari has sued them.
Oh,
right?
shit.
These guys are instead of going, oh, fuck, the largest fucking video game company in America is suing us, shit, they've worn it like a badge of honor and gone, fucking Atari's suing us, we're made. Like, you know, so what happened was, turns out they kind of, like, Atari settled with them and said, right, you come and work for us and you ask permission to do the games and then you can do it, right? But you've got to come and work with us here at Atari. So they went, oh, okay. Meanwhile, they've just done fucking Pac-Man, who was owned by a different company.
Oh, shit.
So what they've done, they're clever bastards. They've rung this other company and gone, hey, we're the guys who Atari were suing. Guess what? And they bullshitted. They've gone, notice that it's been dropped, not that it's been settled.
Oh, shit.
They're like, we won in court. So what we can do for you is we can develop a mod for Pac-Man, which is going to increase revenue for the arcade owners, which you'll make more money selling more machines, blah, blah, blah. And these guys just went, oh, fucking Atari, settle with them or drop the lawsuit. Then these guys, it must be legit. So they signed a fucking deal. These guys were fucking bluffing. They're like 22 years of age.
Shit.
And they've just bluffed their way through. And so they just started fucking... Yeah.
Wow.
And then it also tells the tale. I'm not going to ruin the whole episode for you, but it tells the tale about the creation of the worst game in history.
E.T.?
Yes.
Oh!
Yes. You actually see the developer talks about how he took on the crazy job of making this game.
Because it was such a short period of time.
Something like 5 weeks. It was some crazy... He flew out, had to meet Steven Spielberg. It's in the doco, the first episode. We're going to keep watching the series. But the first one, if you're a retro gamer... and this stuff that was happening was before you and I were actually born. We weren't born till 81, but this was just before we were born, or as we were being born. This stuff, and I find it fascinating. Like the history behind it is just, So it's called High Score. It's on Netflix at the moment. First episode, I found it captivating. I reckon you will too.
There is a documentary of a guy who went... There's an urban legend about the E.T. computer games. I don't know if it's in this episode, but they talk about how hundreds of the games were just taken out into the desert.
Dude, that's a separate documentary. I've watched it.
Yeah, isn't it such a great... Where they just dug a hole, put them in a hole, covered it up. The documentary is this guy trying to find if that was real. And it's such a great documentary.
It's a fantastic... We won't ruin it for you.
Oh.
Won't ruin it for you. But you know what? I actually got a kick out of seeing the footage of... shops selling video games back in the very early 80s.
Yes.
And, there were pallets of them coming with the fucking Ataris and everything else. You're just like, oh, shit, man, that's so cool.
Doesn't happen anymore now, does it?
There's actually a bit in there about the creation, and it wasn't Atari that created the first cartridge games. There was another more lesser-known brand.
Yep.
And the guy who created it was he was one of the only African-American guys working in video games. And he was slightly older, and the company just said, hey... we see that you tinker with things. Can you come up with a way of making so we can, instead of just one game for the console, we can have multiple fucking games. People could buy a cartridge, pop in and play.
Yep.
He actually created the cartridge. It was for this pretty much virtually forgotten video game system.
That's cool.
It came out on the market. It was the first. It done like super crazy within a few months, but then straight away Atari went, and they started... I guess
we'll buy one of that. We'll pull it apart, re-engineer it,
and then Atari, and that's what actually led to the downfall. Because remember, all these games were originally stand-up arcade games, right?
Yes.
Atari comes along, you can now play at home, and that was huge. But what happened is when they started doing so many, they went quantity over quality, and that's what led to the bust in probably I'd say the mid to late 80s, where there was just too many cartridges. The games were shit. But it was all about, we've got 3,000 cartridges that you can choose from. The competition's only got 2,000, and it was just more about quantity over quality.
Yes.
So fascinating show. High Score. If you're a bit of a video gamer, do that one.
Talking about television, I saw a list today about the new reboots that are being made for 2021.
Yep.
Reboots of old TV shows that are coming out.
God forbid Hollywood come up with anything original.
Yes. We were talking about Comedy Central, how they're going into cartoons again. They're going to do a reboot of Daria. Remember Daria from our childhood?
Yeah.
Um,
I used to like Dario. I don't know why. It was a cool cartoon.
Beavis and Butthead, they're bringing them back again.
Yes.
But then also
There's a documentary coming up about Ren and Stimpy, I think.
Ren and Stimpy, they're bringing back as well.
Are they?
They are bringing
I
that
used
back
to
as
steal
well.
my brother Kent. He used to get the Ren and Stimpy comics. This is before I met this guy and he got me into superhero comics. My brother Kent used to get the Ren and Stimpy books.
Oh, really?
I used to read those along with his like Richie Rich, Casper, Hot Stuff, all the Walt Disney ones.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I'm trying to think, is there some sort of Toast Man? Bread man?
Powdered Toast Man.
Powdered Toast Man.
Yeah.
I
Stimpy, you idiot.
I cannot get my head around
He
powdered toast.
He actually had, there was a Powdered Toast Man special edition comic. And Ken even had that.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. It's like, you know how with The Simpsons, they spun out Radioactive Man.
Yes,
So there
yes,
was,
they did.
Over the years, there were Radioactive Man special edition comics. And that, yeah. Bartman.
Yes.
There was a mini-series and stuff like that for Bartman back in the day.
Paul, Happy, Joy. Yes.
That's the name of the
Holy
documentary,
shit.
I think.
Oh, really?
And yet it doesn't reference the song at all in the documentary I read.
Oh,
Like,
they probably didn't get the rights for the.
I
to-
don't
to
know,
use the
but
song.
yeah, but that's the name of the doco, I think.
Some of the live action TV shows we've seen, Saved by the Bell is coming back, of course,
Yep.
but Punky Brewster, Battlestar Galactica,
Oh, my sister used to love Punky Brewster. Katie, she used to love it.
Clueless, they're bringing back that as another TV show.
That's
After
Eli-
the movie, they then did a TV show,
That's
but then
Alicia Silverstone.
yeah, they're now doing another
Can I be
TV
honest,
show.
I've never seen Clueless.
What?
I've never seen Clueless.
What?
Do you want me to repeat that again? I've never seen
What? I can't go much higher. Let's stop there. The Fresh Prince of Bel Air. They're doing a reboot of
Don't
that.
fucking, no.
MacGruber. They're going to bring us a TV series.
That's the Andy Samberg.
That's the.
No, is it?
It's got. Yeah, it's the SNL guys, but it's not Andy Samberg.
Oh, okay.
But one thing I found was interesting was Walker Texas Ranger.
Don't dare touch fucking Walker Texas Ranger.
They're doing a reboot of Walker Texas Ranger.
Without,
I'm not going to say
Chuck-
it's without him, but Jared Padalecki, the guy that plays Sam Winchester,
Yeah.
is going to be in the reboot.
ah, okay, really?
So it's a younger version.
That's interesting. I know my wife would be sitting at home going, oh, because she thinks he's dreamy.
Does it Sam Winchester?
Well, she just loves, was it Supernatural?
I'm just
You ever
interested.
gotten into it?
Supernatural?
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say, have I got into Walker Texas Ranger? Of course I did. I was a 90s kid.
Fuck yeah.
I'm interested to know whether Jared Padalecki is going to sing the theme song like
I don't know.
the gentleman that may remain nameless sang for Walker Texas Ranger.
Okay, cool.
His brother in the television show, Jensen Ackles, was announced this morning that he has signed up for season 3 of The Boys.
Oh,
He is going to be playing Soldier Boy.
yep.
And I think it's because the showrunner of The Boys was the guy who created Supernatural.
Oh, okay.
So he's just keeping him in
Very-
employment.
Very cool. I just want to quickly talk about Harley Quinn. The animated series is on Amazon Prime at the moment, season 1.
You're enjoying it a
Season, I
lot.
binged it, man. I loved it. Fucking loved it. I'm not a Harley Quinn fan as a character. I mean, I like her in certain Batman stories and stuff, but I've never gotten into her solo series. I think I've tried. I've always found it a bit ridiculous, and I've got a good mate who's watching this right now who calls her the Scrappy Doo of the DC
Because
comics
she's
universe.
in everything.
Right? I actually said to him the other day, I'm like, dude, you've got to watch it. Give it a try. At least 2 episodes of the Harley Quinn animated series, voiced by Kaylee Kuko. She voices Harley Quinn in it. Diedrich Bader voices.
Scott's just said, stop talking about that stupid show.
I'm not going to stop, Scott, because I fucking loved it. I genuinely, and not because of Harley. I loved it for the other characters.
For the villains, yes.
The other
yes.
villains. Fucking Dr. Psycho is just hilarious. Clayface. I really like Clayface. Kite Man is in it. The way they treat Bane as a character
Yeah.
and pull the piss out of Bane is just phenomenal. I've really, really enjoyed it. We finished season 1. Season 2 is on Amazon Prime in the US, but not here yet for some fucked up reason. Who knows why? There's 13 episodes per season, and I'll tell you what, it's just fantastic to sit there, kill a bit of time of a night time, watch 1 or 2 episodes. So we've finished season 1, and I honestly, I've been raving about it to everyone, and there's been a few people have come back in, they've gone home, watched an episode or 2, come back to the shop a day or so later and gone, yeah, you were right. I'm not a Harley Quinn fan, but that is a cool show.
That's cool.
There you go. I want to talk quickly about something else that is on Netflix. We talked about it. I love it. The book is back in stock. In front of Batman, Outcast. Old Guard. Sorry. There's another book I'm talking about there, which is a Robert Kirkman book.
I thought you were just going to start saying, hey,
No.
No?
Old Guard. Remember we talked about this on the show a few weeks
did.
ago. This is which way am I going there? That way. This is done by Greg Rucka and I can never get his name right. Fernandez. Sorry.
Julio.
Sorry. No, it's not. It's not Julio. It is Leandro Fernandez. So Greg Rucka and Leandro Fernandez. Old Guard, which Charlize Theron is starring in the Netflix movie, which is open for a sequel. The second volume of this book is just about to hit as graphic novel. It's called Old Guard 2 Force Multiplied. This book is phenomenal. Let's see if I can get in front of Batman here.
The interior art is very cool.
It's very gritty. It reminds me of 100 Bullets, the artwork there. In not Lieber Mayo. Jeez, I've just had a friggin' blank. Eduardo Rizzo. It reminds me of Eduardo Rizzo's art style. It's very gritty, very
It's got Watchmen colours too. The purples, the greens.
It's a really good read, that one there. So that's just come back into stock. Stock is limited because already we've gone to put more on back order. It's gone to back order with the supplier. They're getting another massive amount in the next few weeks.
You could come to Kaboom Comics where they have copies on the shelves.
Right there.
Or actually behind the counter because you have to pay premium.
No, you don't.
No?
No.
I would.
We sell it for our normal price, Jim.
You would now?
We haven't jacked the price up.
You're not gouging your customers?
No.
What kind of person are you?
Apparently an ethical one. And gonna be, never be a millionaire one. But anyway, I do it for the love of it some days.
Son of a bitch.
And money, but mainly for the love of it. Brand new today, just arrived in store. I have told you before about how good Deceased is by Tom Taylor, the main series.
Yes.
Out today in beautiful hardcover, the same kind of style as Deceased, the normal hardcover.
Sealed for your protection?
Hey, this is Deceased done it again. Deceased Unkillables. This is the little mini-series that focuses on the villains left behind at the end of Deceased. So Red Hood,
cool.
Deathstroke, Bane, Cheetah, there's a whole bunch, Solomon Grundy. And it focuses on these guys getting left behind and having to deal with the undead horde that is taken over the world. And they end up becoming slightly kind of hero-ish because they have to protect kids and stuff like that.
Oh.
3-part mini-series, different artists to the regular Deceased book.
Mm-hmm.
But if you're looking for something to tide you over before Deceased Dead Earth, which is the new series, comes out as a hardcover, which will be a few months away yet, this is going to get you there. This is the little fill-in in between. Deceased Unkillables, now out as a beautiful hardcover. Well, it's only out as a hardcover. It's just been released. As I said, this arrived today. Deceased Unkillables. Get it India. Here at Kaboom Comics, Toowoomba.
Well, we're talking comic books. They have announced Olivia Wilde, who you would remember from Tron Legacy.
Hang on. Sean said keep it down. Keep what down? What am I keeping down, Sean?
The comic.
Is it the comic?
It's up too high.
Here. Actually, I think it'll get good. Can you see that cover up there?
Your wife has also said that Jared can sing, so he probably will sing the theme song from Walker, Texas Ranger.
Ooh.
That would be interesting.
My wife's ringtone for ages was Carry On Wayward Son.
Which is the Supernatural theme song.
Yeah.
Okay.
Carry on my wayward son.
Is that what she would think about when you're ringing her?
What?
Because that song would
Yeah, that was a ringtone.
Yeah.
You
didn't have your own ringtone on her phone?
No, I don't think she's ever done that.
Really?
I have just the Batman '89 theme for mine.
Well, like it's a little rude to put. It's a little rude to put. It's a little rude.
That's why I let my phone ring some days. Especially when it's you ringing me. I'm like, I know he'll call me back if I just listen to it play for a while.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then I'll ring you back and you go, what the fuck were you doing? You didn't answer my phone call. Oh, nothing.
I remember your brother had the death march for some person ringing him all the time, and it was a person that you probably shouldn't have that as your ringtone too.
Yeah. Let's throw him under the bus.
Fucking let's do it. Let's do it. Okay.
Might have been attached to when his wife called.
Olivia Wilde, who you will remember from Tron Legacy that you watched a couple of weeks ago.
Can I just correct you? Scott said it's not the Supernatural theme song. It's the song that plays to signify it's their season finale. We've not seen Supernatural, Scott.
I'm sorry, I looked it up on Wikipedia, and Wikipedia told me that was the theme song.
Did it really?
Yes, it did.
Did it?
Yes.
Oh, well, they're wrong.
So I did research.
Carry on my wayward son.
Did it play only for the last season?
I have
as
no-
the theme song for the last season.
Danny's had it for ages. She's had that as her ringtone. for a couple
Danny,
years.
can you tell me whether this is true or not? Whether my information was incorrect?
You told Jono and me to shush. Sean, shush about what?
But because they were carrying on and
When?
talking while we're doing our show.
Hey, which one? No, we didn't.
Yes, we did. I did. I told them to shush because they were having a conversation in a different program that was popping up on our screens
Oh!
every time they talked. And I'm like, dude, if you're going to talk in this.
Hi, Sean. Hi, Jono. Yeah, talking here. I'm sorry, I didn't know that was coming up on your screen over
Yes.
there. Oh, okay.
It kept on popping up.
Sean, have you watched Harley Quinn, the animated series yet? Because I reckon you'll get a kick out of it. Read it. It's good. Watch it. It's good, not read it.
Olivia Wilde,
Yes, Olivia Wilde.
who was in Tron Legacy and Cowboys and Aliens.
Yes.
She's going to direct Spider-Woman.
Oh, she's directing it.
Directing it and she's writing it.
Has she directed before, or is this going to be a first-time
No.
project?
Yes, she has directed before, but it was a small drama independent movie.
Okay. Actually, look, hey, I'm up for it. I'll watch Spider-Woman.
Yeah.
I wonder who they'll cast. Hopefully someone good.
You don't think she'll cast herself?
Probably not.
No.
Tell you what I watched the other night, and what's the actress's name? Is it Elizabeth Winstead? What's her name?
Out of
Yeah, can
Harley
someone tell me?
Quinn.
Yeah, she played Huntress in Harley in
Mary
Birds of
Elizabeth
Prey.
Winstead.
Mary Elizabeth Winstead, right?
That's another one of my crushes.
Is she?
Yes.
I'm not very familiar with her. Apart from the other night, I watched her okay, let me preface this. I had a mate come in and he goes, "Here's the DVD to watch for Birds of Prey," and I did a little right.
You just threw up a little bit in
And
your,
then I
in your
thought,
mouth.
look, I'm a geek guy. I need to watch this. I need to go.
Yeah.
I'm gonna have that experience of going, yeah, look, I've seen it. Okay.
Okay.
I didn't hate it as a film. I hate that they butchered the character so much because I've always been a big
Yes.
fan of the Birds of Prey characters in the comics.
Yes.
I hate that they butchered that so much. But as a movie, I didn't hate it. It had some amazing shots. There was some really good sequencing in it, stuff like that. I actually think Margot Robbie is a very good actress.
Yep.
I didn't mind her portrayal of Harley Quinn in it. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yep. Yeah.
And
yeah.
then what was that actress's name? Mary
Elizabeth Winstead.
I thought the character shouldn't have been called Huntress, but I thought she's a good actress. I don't mind her, just not in that role, right? We got to the end of it, and I said to the lovely wife, I said, I'm glad though I didn't pay money to see it on the big screen. I would have felt cheated if I had paid to watch that. So I'm glad a mate lent it to me to watch it, and I said I didn't hate it, but it's not a great film, especially as a comic book fan.
There's a lot of things about it where you went, what? They could have... that's the end of the movie.
That actress could play Spider-Woman, I reckon.
Yeah.
I'd like to see her back doing more stuff, especially superhero stuff.
She was in Abraham Lincoln Vampire Hunter.
Ah, that's right, yes.
And also Scott Pilgrim.
Yes. Yes, I need to go back and rewatch that, Scott Pilgrim.
You didn't like it.
I need to rewatch it. I didn't like it at the time, and it could have been a certain person I watched it with.
Yes.
That has soured that
I
for
can
me.
understand.
So I need to go, but not you. I wasn't talking about you.
No, I understand exactly who you're talking about.
Right, we're nearly at the end of the show, so I'm just going to say this. It is DC Fandom. Is that tomorrow our time?
It is. It's going to be more Sunday because they're only starting at 1 p.m. American time.
Eastern Standard America?
I think it's going to be 1 p.m. Middle America.
Middle America.
I believe so.
Go along to dcfandom.com or whatever it is. Check it out yourself. You can actually pre-register and set a schedule for what panels you want to watch. Now, I thought... So it's 24 hours only. I don't think it's on repeat. From what I've been able to gather, it's not like it's going to be...
That's how they're selling it, aren't they? You have to watch it or you'll miss out.
We're not going to replay these, which I think is crazy because apparently some of the panels are already pre-recorded.
Which
Not
I
live.
don't.
Some are live, some are live, but because they're going to be at different times, like as I said, it's a 24-hour thing. I guess they went, we can't get big celebrities to be sitting there at 3 a.m. doing a live panel with fans. We're asking an awful lot. So they have some panels are pre-recorded. Other panels will be live during probably more normal daylight hours.
Yeah.
Some of that's going to be live. For us, the best panels will be at like 2-3 o'clock in the morning our time for the really good panels. But you can go there, you can register. I think you got to put in your email address and everything.
Yeah,
which turned him off straight away.
I went to the website today just to check out the schedule so that I could try and work out when I could actually watch it. It won't let you actually peruse anything
until you register.
You have to put in every detail.
And that's
last time you washed your hands.
That is because AT&T want your details to target stuff at you. They're a telecommunications company, dude. That's
exactly.
Why.
And the one thing that we were worried about then, does that mean that as a customer that wants to buy stuff, is DC going to then target stuff directly to me? So
to cut out the middlemen, aka retailers and stuff like that. There's rumblings in my industry.
Yeah.
There's a lot of retailers aren't promoting the whole DC Fandom experience because they said we think that DC is going to try and undercut us as retailers and go straight to our customers. So, but I'm one of them guys. If you're a DC fan, check it on out. I may tune in and watch some panels. Otherwise, I'm going to do what a lot of other people have said, and they're going to go, I'll wait for Bleeding Cool to report on it and give us the breakdown of what happened in the panel.
And I am absolutely certain that people are going to screen record it and then upload it to YouTube,
It'll
Facebook.
end up out there somewhere, but at the moment, DC have pretty much said it's 24 hours only, not getting repeated. You've got to, that's the idea. You've got to tune in and watch the panels if you want to get the experience. Tell us if you're going to go and watch it. As I said, the best panels are probably going to be around the 2, 3 o'clock, 4 o'clock in the morning, our time type thing. So if you're happy to get up really super early and watch that, more power to you. This fucker here is going to have a sleep in. So,
yeah. Any questions before we call it a night?
I don't know what. Olivia Wilde, I remember as 13. There you go. Some people say, Scott said, I don't mind her as an actor. Sean said, that's what I said. What did you say, Sean? What?
I don't know. It seems like an inside joke that I don't understand.
So there you go. Is anyone out there? You guys going to go and check out DC Fandom?
Do you reckon I don't know if it's a cool name or not.
Fandom.
It's fandom with an E, so it's a fandome.
Have you
who come up with this idea?
Have you seen the visual where it shows like a big stadium being built?
And you're like, dude, that's all in a computer. There's no actual. It's just someone on a green screen.
Because it's you couldn't have San Diego Comic Con. There's going to be announcements. Obviously, there are going to be announcements about certain comic book series, certain TV series. Zack Snyder's got his
trailer he's going to play for
trailer.
It's the debut of it.
James Wan's going to be there talking about, I think, Aquaman 2. The Rock is doing a panel, or is appearing on a panel talking about with my wife's Hollywood boyfriend.
Zach Levi?
Thank you. I just fucking had a blank. Zach Levi.
That's because you don't like thinking about your wife's crush.
No, he's a pretty dreamy kind of guy, I'll be honest. He can sing too. That fucker is talented. I tell you. There's a little part of me kind of went, oh, Zach Levi, he is pretty cool.
He shoots sparks out of his hands and everything.
They're going to be talking about Shazam too.
Yes, they are.
Yeah, so look, there are some cool shit happening with DC Fandom.
Wonder Woman is going to release a new trailer, apparently.
John's gone, sounds like Femidom. Actually, Sean, yeah, you're doing what I'm saying too. I'll check Bleeding Cool from the DC News for a chunk of it.
Scott's just said, it sounds like something Homer Simpson would say. Fandom.
Did we do that justice?
I don't know.
Have you had I hope you all have a lovely weekend ahead anyway. I hope you had an alright week. It's been one of them weeks.
You
should see the pile of books I've still got to work on yet.
It's interesting that I woke up yesterday morning and I thought, while still...
Tell me, James, what happened?
This is a wonderful story. I'm laying in bed and I looked at the ceiling and I thought, you know what? It's interesting that the biggest thing that I look forward to at that moment was going back to bed last night. And I'm like, my life has come to this. I am so old.
You've got me to podcast or live stream
with.
But
this was yesterday.
I've got to stop referring to this as a podcast because technically this isn't a podcast.
Hey, we can call it a podcast.
It's a Facebook Live.
It's
program.
a vodcast, a video cast,
vidcast. Apparently, a Justice League Director's Cut teaser dropped. Did you guys see it or confirm it's real? No, haven't seen it.
I did not see it. I saw a little piece that he dropped on Twitter.
Yep.
But I have not seen a full-length trailer.
Look, be prepared. There'll be a ton of stuff coming out after this Fandom experience. Some of that you won't read about till Monday, probably, our time. Yes. You'll start seeing it kick up on Monday. But anyway, there you go.
All right, let's wrap it up for one day. Mike can... Oh, shit. That was a terrible...
Don't throw things at...
See if I can actually hit him this time.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike's a piece of shit. He can't even hold the camera straight. Look, it's off-center. Look, how come you get all this room and I get just this little bit of room here?
Because I'm better looking.
Well,
Anyway, we hope you have a fantastic weekend. Enjoy your geekiness. Make sure you visit your local comic shop soon and grab some great reads. I know Fizz was in the comments before. She picked up some great reads this week, and one of them was something we suggested the other week.
Yeah?
She grabbed Pulp. So awesome. I hope you
that
enjoyed
looked
it.
really cool, that shot.
Great book. Great book. Anyway, stay geeky. Catch you next Friday. Along with this Goomba here, my co-hostess with the mostest.
Wake ups and pots and pans.
I thought he was going to put his big buff head in there. I've been your host, Todd Bailey. See you next week on Geek Speak Live.
Bye.
Bye-bye.